Hey buddy, what's up? Yeah, it's oh, hold on for a sec. Uh, Here we go. Just getting the volume up a little bit, but I thought I'd come on here. Yeah, I know it's about early. It's kind of early, very early, very late night if you want to put it that way. Um, but I thought I'd come on here and just talk about something that's really been on my chest for a while, and I wanted to just talk about, and you see the title below. I mean, obviously, this is not just something that I'm dealing with, but everybody deals with. And especially with this most recent Windows update, I think a lot of us, quite frankly, are sick and tired of it. We are literally sick and tired of these updates constantly coming on board every freaking month or by every other 2 to 3 weeks or 2 weeks, or in this case, back to back days or back to back to back days. We are sick and tired of it. I mean, we get it. We get it. Some of our devices have to be updated. Yes, the computer I have has Windows 10, and yes, it gives you the option to turn off the updates. But guess what? That doesn't always work because after a few hours or several hours, the update comes back on. It restarts by itself. It's like it just can't help itself. And I'm sure the same goes for people that have Windows 10 for their Mac or for the Toshiba, whatever device they use. You know, I have a Dell, I have an HP Fusion. I'm using an HP Fusion, a Silver Fusion, if you will. And you know, and quite honestly, and they just did emergency testing on the television. But the point I'm getting at is, you know, well, what I'm saying is I have an HP Silver Fusion laptop, and the thing is, it gives me that option as well. But the thing is, it's almost constant at times. Well, maybe not as constant, but it's like every season. I mean, there's reports that we might get another update. What, in a couple of days, in time for June? What, on the 5th? I don't know if it's just for selected devices or what. Because if that was the case, we'd be having it show up right now. The point is, I understand that they have to update the system sometimes to improve against any viral threats out there. If you don't have a McAfee anti spyware or antivirusware, and you have Windows Defender or whatever, they want to make sure that you have everything up to date, and I understand that. But here's the problem: if you're going to do this, what you need to do here's what you need to do. You have this little option on the bottom hand corner. Okay. You have this little option on the bottom corner here. On the bottom right hand corner, this notification deal. This little notification icon on the bottom right hand corner of your computer, or left hand, depending, depending, or your upper. Well, you get this. You have this little notification icon either on the bottom right, bottom left, or upper right corner of your computer. So why don't they use that to notify you when they're going to do an update, when they're going to do an update, and to be prepared for it. Like if they're going to do an update that's going to be massive, it's going to, in a sense, give your software a complete overhaul. In a sense, let us know that days in advance so we can be ready. So we can, and even if you have to let us know when you're going to do it. Like, oh, don't be on your computer between, let's say, 8 p.m. and between 8 p.m. and midnight, because we're going to use those 4 hours to update your system. Let us know in advance when you're going to do something like this, because that way we will be better prepared. We will be better. We will be better prepared. We will be ready for that update. We will understand why you're doing the update. We will get that. Okay, we don't need to have an update back to back because you pretty much screw up on you pretty much the original update you had planned for that season pretty much gets screwed up because you possibly had somebody infected with a virus. Yeah, the reason there was two back to back updates was the second one was to fix any issues that the first one did. The first one had a virus added to it. Somehow it was infected by some kind of virus or the file was corrupted. We don't know. And now the second one came on. And here's what's funny. The second one could not completely install. You know why? Because I don't think it was meant to install. I don't think there was anything inside of it. I don't know if it was because I ran out of space. I don't know if it's because, you know, or whatever it is. I don't know. All I know is it basically came on with a message after everything rebooted and everything saying couldn't fully install. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the file's corrupted, or maybe the update's corrupted. Or oh, wait a minute. Maybe the update wasn't really necessary. I don't know. But they say they couldn't fully update it, so I don't know if my computer is not up to snuff for the update, or maybe the update's meant for other devices because I've read online some of the devices that the updates intend that the update is initially intended for is Surface devices, like little tablets and all that. So I don't know if maybe somebody didn't get the memo that, oh, this update is only for the tablet users. Send it out to them. I mean, okay, look, I understand that Windows 10 is going to get the update no matter what, computer, laptop, or computer it's on. And maybe that's why the update didn't work, because pretty much the update wasn't meant for it. It wasn't meant for, like, let's say my laptop, my HP Fusion, or it was meant for this or that. That's another thing Windows and Mac and all of them have to make people aware of. Give them an option of, hey, or make them aware of, and give them the option. Hey, you want to or at least make them aware of it. Say this upcoming update is specifically for these devices, and if you don't have this device, don't worry about it. Don't worry about uploading it, and give us the option of canceling the update before it happens, because pretty much, like I said, it's consistent. You can shut off you can shut it off. You can stop the service, but then it'll just restart several hours later. So why not just give us the option of canceling the update and being done with it, especially if the update is not meant for us? I mean, I'm not saying that the updates don't help sometimes. I can definitely tell that whatever this update was helped out a little bit with the window, help improve a bit here on Windows 10. It feels like everything is smoother. In fact, when I chose update and shutdown, yeah, it had to configure. It took a little bit to configure for the update. And then when I turned it back on, it took a little bit to update again, but then guess what happened? Of course, it went to its usual restart process when it's doing the update. But then it went into a restart where you saw the HP signal, the little dots circling around underneath, and then it said restoring system back to previous version. And it's like, what the heck does this mean? And so what I did is I looked up online, and basically it means that the update that was supposed to be couldn't be updated. It couldn't be fulfilled. They couldn't update. They couldn't fulfill the update because initially that update wasn't meant to be, apparently, or that update file was either corrupted on their end and it couldn't be updated all the way, or again, it wasn't meant for my laptop or anybody else's laptop. And they need to work on that. They need to work on that. They need to make sure that if they're going to do an update, they need to differentiate, and they need to uh, specifically categorize what Windows updates are meant for what, or what Mac updates are meant for what. Not basically say, okay, this is meant for all devices that have the Windows 10 or all the devices that have the latest Mac. No, they need to categorize, okay, this Windows 10 update is meant for all computers and laptops. This Windows update is meant for Surface and tablets. Simple. Just really simple. It's not hard to do, and it's simple. And they need to do something like that because, quite honestly, they keep doing this. Sooner or later, they're going to get a lot of people pissing on them more so than they've done recently because this latest update, if you want the truth, this latest update caused a lot of trouble. Caused a lot of trouble that basically it screwed people's surfaces, tablets, services, and even some of the computers and laptops up a little bit. Yeah, they were able to fix them and get things back, but it screwed them up to the point that even some in the past, if not currently, had to call up, technicians and even Microsoft support itself to find out how to fix it. And when they eventually found out how to fix it or were told what to do, they got it taken care of. Again, this is what I'm talking about. If Microsoft Linux, which I think is in part of Mac and iOS, if they want to avoid this happening, well, actually, Apple is in charge of Mac, but you get the idea. If Microsoft and Apple and whoever else, Linux, whatever, wants to avoid this kind of stuff from happening again, they need to differentiate which, they need to differentiate what updates are meant for what. Who is meant for what update? I mean, you can't tell me that, let's say, someone like Linkara or James Wolfe, Cinemassacre, you can't tell me that when they get these updates handed to, automatically given to them, that they don't worry that they're going to be screwed over, because they are. And quite frankly, they shouldn't have to go through that. They shouldn't have to go through that because, quite honestly, it's not. The thing is, it shouldn't be their responsibility about what happens. The people responsible for it should be should be the software providers, the companies behind it. They're the ones that should be responsible, not the users. The ones that should be responsible are the ones that put the update out to make sure that the update is fully ready and operational. I can only imagine if this update they got coming up on June 5th, is going to basically be an update that is small and is harmless and all that, and they better make sure it is. Because when I read the June 5th one, the June 5th patch, as they call it, is only for Toshiba's. But how are we going to know that if it's going to come, if I'm going to go on my computer and get ready to shut down, and it gives me the option to update and shut down? How am I going to know that? You know what I'm saying? I just had the thing is I've had enough. Everybody watching this video now, will be watching it later, has had enough. Windows, Mac, Apple, iOS, PlayStation, Sony, PlayStation 4, PS4, Sony, Microsoft, along with Xbox, even Nintendo with the Switch and whatever else. If you guys are going to do an update, do us a favor. Do us a major, major favor, okay? Let us know when you're going to do the update. Notify us through notifications because a lot of the things that require updates have some kind of notification that you can message the users, the overall user community about, with, or you could use basically to message the entire community or the users and let them know of what's going to be coming, how big it's going to be, what's required, and how long it may take. Give us some kind of notification, some kind of heads up. So that way we can, and also at the same time, let us know like what time frame like what time frame you're going to be doing it. Like I said, if you're going to do it between 8 p.m. and midnight, let us know that, hey, for those 4 hours, you can't use your computer because we're going to be updating it. And also on top of all that, make sure the updates, make sure you test run those updates before you send them out. Make sure there's no glitches, no viruses, no failed software, nothing like that. Make sure everything is at tip top 100%, 150, 150% and capacity and is 150% perfect, set, and ready to go. Don't send it out. No, don't send it out with the possibility that it could screw up in the future. Don't do that because you know why? You know why? Because sooner or later, no matter who sends out the updates, people are going to get upset. Here's my solution to it. You want to do a massive update? Here's what you do. You schedule a massive update for the whole year. You pick a date, whether it's the start of the year, in spring, whatever. You say that at the start of the year, like around the 1st or 2nd of January, whether you're, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Microsoft Windows, your Microsoft and you're charged of the Windows division, your Apple and you're charged of the Mac and iOS, or iOS, I should say, or your Linux, or your Sony in charge of the PlayStation division, or your Microsoft in charge of the Xbox One division, Nintendo and the Switch, whatever. Pick a day between the first 5 days of the year in January. Choose a time frame that you know is more suitable for a lot of people and won't interfere, or at least give them a heads up with that time. Won't interfere, or maybe at least gives people a heads up about that time being used, and then announce through notifications or whatever that you're going to have this massive update. You're going to have them down. You're going to have them download onto the computer or the game console, whatever, and tell them how long it's going to take, and that this update is going to be the only update, unless something comes up, that you're going to have them download uh, for the whole year. Because if you do that one major update at the start of the year, and it takes care of everything, and for the rest of the year, nobody has to worry about things getting interrupted. Nobody has to worry about, let's say they're gamers and they want to stream something live on Twitch or YouTube. They don't have to worry about things being audio only. That's what you do. Your solution is right there. You guys got the money to do it. The solution is simple. Schedule a time at the first 5 days of the year to do a massive year-long update, a massive update that's going to last the whole year, and then in the following year, you rinse and repeat. You make it a yearly thing, not a monthly or bi-monthly or bi-weekly deal. A yearly update for the whole year, a massive update for the whole year is the best solution, is the best way to go. That is the best solution in my opinion, the best solution and the best idea. Because let's be honest, do a lot of us that own the PS4 or the Xbox One or the Switch, do you think we like going on there thinking we can go online, but we can't because it tells us to, update the system before we sign in? You think we like that? No. We'd rather not have to deal with that. We'd rather have something that's already done, that's been updated, that's done, downloaded, and updated to our system so that we don't have to worry about that. And again, like I said, a year-long deal. Uh, what I'm saying is that, and what I'm trying to say is, I believe an update that should be a massive update that takes place at the beginning of the first 5 days of the year, that's to last the whole year, is the best solution, the best way to go. That way, if you're Windows and you want to make sure Windows 10 is updated to standard, do a massive update. Say this is going to take care of everything. Everything is taken care of. Any kind of creators thing is taken care of. All that. Make sure everything is set and ready to go for that one massive update that's going to take care of the whole year. Same if you're an Apple Mac user, Linux Mac user, Linux iOS user, Mac Apple iOS, whatever. One major update for the whole year at the beginning of the year to where you won't have to worry about doing any more updates, to me, or sending out any more updates, to me, is the best solution. Because you think a lot of us that own laptops like this are going to want to deal with the fact that we have to constantly every other month or every month deal with an update, knowing that possibly one of those updates could screw us up, just like this recent one did for some people. Thank God they were able to get it fixed or find solutions of getting it fixed. Do you think they like that? No, they don't. So my suggestion to them, and I know a lot of people that'll be watching this soon, is going to agree. Go that route. Go the route of a massive update that you do at the beginning of the year that basically sustains. That's basically the only update you're going to need for the rest of the year, so you don't have to worry about putting out other updates here and there. You do one massive update at the beginning of the year. You do one massive update at the beginning of the year, and you're good to go. You're good to go. I mean, honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I mean, again, I understand why they're needed, why they happen, but unless you either go the route that I just mentioned, or you have the courtesy to at least let people know weeks, maybe months in advance of, hey, or maybe a week or two in advance of, hey, on this day, or around this time frame, and around this date and time frame, we're going to do an update. Unless they do start doing something like that, people are not going to tolerate these constant updates coming out of nowhere or coming out of left field all the time. So I think honestly, it's time. Honestly, I think it's time for these update for a solution to be done. I think it's time for a solution to be. I think it's just time for a solution to be sought out. So Microsoft, Sony, Apple, anybody listening that works on these kind of things for a living, that helps send out these updates, do us a favor. Find a solution that won't upset people. Find a solution that won't upset people so that either that solution is notifying people of what's going to happen, maybe a week or two in advance, or at least come up with the idea of doing one major update that lasts a whole year. Hold on a sec. It took longer with mine. Yeah, but I think VCR, you would agree that they need to come up with a better solution. And I think that solution is either do a major, massive update at the beginning of the year that lasts the whole year so we don't have to worry, or at least they notify us maybe 2 weeks in advance about when, where, it's going to be updated, and to be, like what time frame and stuff like that. Because quite honestly, quite honestly, enough's enough. I mean, I've had several problems with updates to where I've had to get my stuff restored. Thank God this computer does that. But this is the first time I've ever had the computer do its update and restart, and the third restart is basically saying restoring things back to the previous version. They need to change things. They either need to differentiate what updates are for what devices and brands, or they need to let us know in advance, you know, how big the update's going to be, when it's going to happen, when it's going to be downloaded, or at least give us the option not to download it at all. I mean, thing is, my mom just recently ended school for the year. Imagine how she would have felt if something like this came up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I would go like with maybe two massive ones, two massive updates, and that's it. I mean, just just enough's enough. I hope. If I'm quiet, so if I'm being a little quiet. Yeah, but yeah, but the thing is, I'm just getting sick and tired of it. To be honest with you, it's like, I mean, the fact that it's the first time that I know of that I've had back-to-back days of updates. And what's the point of giving us the option of stopping the services so I'm not going to restart? If you want to give us the option to not take the service, then let us not take the service. Let us stop it and be done with it. Don't restart it. Because that's pretty much being hypocritical and going against what you say we can or cannot do. It's with Fortnite, it's kind of a free thing, especially the battle royale. So Well, I have to do that. And I didn't know about Batman animated series getting a Blu-ray. I may have to look into that. Yeah, but the thing is, I just think it's time for them to stop doing these updates weekly or every other week or every 2 months or every month or something like that. And just like I say, come up with a solution to either notify us when you're going to do it, how long it's going to take it, between what times, or come up basically with, like I said, the best solution, and that's basically do one massive update at the beginning of the year, maybe two, maybe one in the beginning and one in the middle, and be done with it, and that's it. The start of the year can cover winter, cover the new year, winter and spring, and the second one can cover the summer and the fall, and that's it. That's all you have to worry about if you want to do updates. Make it easier. I think people will be more appreciative of that, and you won't constantly be interrupting them, especially if they want to stream gaming. And that doesn't just go for computers with Windows 10 or anything. That goes for consoles like Xbox, PlayStation 4, Switch, you name it. I might look into the Power Rangers thing too. I'll have to see what that's going to be like. What was that? Just looking at something real quickly. But yeah, just overall, I feel that I just feel that if they're gonna do updates, they need to come up with a better solution, and that's really all I'm gonna say on it, guys. So that's only really I want to say because after having to deal with an update back to back, and then have this one basically on its third restart, basically say it's gotta restore the previous version of Windows 10. It's like, yeah, enough's enough. So so if the people in charge of this over at Windows, at Microsoft, at Sony, at Apple, wherever, guys gotta come up with a better solution. Either do two massive updates a year, one at the beginning and one in the middle, or just do one massive one at the beginning and that's it, or at least notify us when you're going to be doing updates, what day they could be happening automatically or manually. If you give us that choice, and how long they would take in between, like what times maybe, like how long it would take, like hour frame wise, or if you're doing it automatically, what times, like between 8 and 12 or whatever, should we not be on the computer when it's done, when it's being done. So honestly, folks, I just think it's enough. I just think after this one, enough's enough. After the reaction people have given this one as well, I think enough is enough as well. So that's just my thoughts on it. Thank you all for watching live. Thank you all for tuning in live and commenting. Really appreciate it. And let me know what you guys think. And that's all I'm going to really say. It sounds like Mobile Armored Strike Command Mask is getting a revival, not just through a movie, but through a series. So that's good to hear too. So, but let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Thank you all for tuning in live. Thank you for tuning in post live after it's been uploaded. And I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.